This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections.
Yes, welcome back to round 2 of the vintage event here in Lime Rock as we spend the time with Joe Riolio. And boy, let me tell you, you're in for a treat today as we're going to meet some of the other people involved in this crew. And boy, let me tell you, we just have a great time.
We have Raquel, Joe's daughter. And I understand you started this race and they were kind of young.
Yeah, we did. Some of my first memories were here at the track, and it's always been such a blast through the years growing up. We call everybody our race family, and it's just such a time.
Tell me, do you ever have any aspiration about driving one of these cars?
I always ask him all the time, oh, when you going to get me on the track? And ever since I was very little, and now I do what I can. Pit crew's good enough for me.
So you started going to the racetrack with your father very young.
Yes, very. I don't even know how young, since I was an infant, really.
Yeah.
When you did Busch Grand National and all that stuff, all I know is that I was there.
Now tell me, your mother must have been okay with this right from the start.
You know, it's quite funny because my parents are a bit of the opposite. She's more of the let's go camping in the woods, no noise, and she kind of got dragged into this, but she really appreciates what he does, and she enjoys it.
I know that it takes a special woman to put up with this.
That's definitely my mother for sure.
So you call hometown, your home is in Woodbury too?
Yes, Woodbury, Connecticut.
How long have you lived there? All your life?
All my life, yep. So it's been a good 20 years so far.
So I gotta twist his arm. We gotta get you in this race car, huh?
See what you can do. If you can pull some strings for me, we'll see.
Do you have a brother too?
I have an older brother and a younger brother, Jonah and David. So they might be coming this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a chat with them. But this vintage racing is so different than your regular run-of-the-mill racing. And it's like a family affair.
It is. It really is. And you get to see a lot wider range of cars that are here, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now tell me, what do you do for a living?
At the moment, I'm almost done with EMT school, so after that, I'll be getting into the nitty-gritty of work, trying to save lives.
Boy, you like excitement. I could see that.
I do. Every day, I like to do something different, something surprising.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to know, I'll tell you. Because today, sometimes kids, they spend too much time playing with video games.
Wasn't one for video games, but I do understand what you're saying.
Now, do you go to many events with your father?
I try to come to as many as I can. It was hard when I was in college, but if I'm home and he's racing, you'll see me here.
You'll be here. I love Lime Rock Park, I'll tell you.
It's my favorite track.
It is mine, too. The history here, you know.
Yep.
And he tells me he's got a Datsun Z. Boy, that's all he had to tell me. We're big fans of Bob Sharp and Paul Newman.
Yep, his Datsun is my favorite car. I'm hoping he actually gives it to me one day. We'll see about that.
Well, we'll have to put the bug in his ear and say, listen, somebody that wants to shoot that car, right?
Oh, he's got the bug. I tell him all the time. I said this weekend, hey, where's my car? What are you talking about? I said, where's my car? You going to bring it?
Now, does Mom have any interest in the drive or no?
Oh, no. She'll sit back and watch. That's good enough for her.
Hey, you know, everyone likes something special, and she must like camping, I bet, and being out in the outdoors, right?
Oh, she does. She's a very outdoorsy woman. And
I know my wife was so mad at me. I was an avid drag racer, and I raced up and down the East Coast, you know. And she used to say, I got to have my head examined to be doing this with you. You know?
That's funny.
But you know, it's all fun. That's what it is.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's very fulfilling path, especially for him.
And what I like about this kind of event, the people you meet are very special. They are.
They are. You meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and it's kind of funny. You can kind of tell people's personalities based on the car they drive, and it all kind of goes together.
Is your mom here this weekend or no?
She should be here eventually this weekend. She'll stop by.
Geez, I would have loved to get a few words with her too. I'm sure she's got a story or two.
She'll definitely give you a story, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he goes out again. Do you know?
No, I'm not sure at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to check because we want to get his. You know, we just come back in from the practice, and let me tell you, he's having fun. That I'll tell you.
He's always having fun. He's like a kid in a toy store.
Yeah, I guess about 2 o'clock he's going back out, and we'll catch him then. And then we're going to talk to him about his other car and give Derek a word or two. I mean, we're going to have some fun today, right, Rachel?
Absolutely.
Raquel. I call you Rachel.
got it.
Raquel.
Same name, different language.
Okay, Raquel. I don't want to tie you up any further, but we'll probably talk to you a little later today.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot. What a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. You were excellent. Yes, we have Derek Van Lint, who actually does a little work to this car, I believe, huh? Tell me what you do to this car, Derek.
Well, I do what Joe tells me to do, but we've acquired Sylvia, this XK120 last year, and in the various tracks we've been running at, we're finding little issues to correct, improvements to make. One of our problems we had when we first got her was we had a cooling issue. So we've gone through the hoses and lines and actually put a new radiator in her.
So it's kind of a sorting out.
Yeah, absolutely. This car was the last XK to run in SCCA competition around the country. And but even so, she still had some things to be sorted out.
Now, your background, do you have XK, you know, I mean, Jaguar background, kind of?
No, I don't, actually. I'm a landscape architect by trade, and my parents started bringing me the tracks when I was 5 years old, though, so...
And you were hooked, right?
I have been ever since, yes.
How'd you come across Joe? How'd you get together with Joe?
Well, my parents used to edit a magazine back in the 60s called Top Gear, and at that time, Nissan asked what young drivers might be good to drive their new sports cars. And Bob Sharp was one of the recommended drivers. And he had a great career with Nissan and Datsun. And my father ran competition in autocross and rallies. And my mom wrote PR for Bob Sharp for a long time.
Well, I'll tell you a story. My older son, when he was growing up, we used to bring him up here, and he loved Bob Sharp. To this day, he still has 2 Datsun 510s that he autocrosses to this day.
Well,
And
I own a 1968 Datsun 2000 with my father, the Roadster.
Yeah.
And so my father was driving through Woodbury, Connecticut, near his home, and he looked into Joe's driveway and saw a trailer with a Datsun insignia on it. Turned around, went back and said, "Oh, could you open that up and show me what you have?" And they met, and then I met Joe, and here I am.
Here you are. Do you live in Woodbury too?
No, I'm a Block Island resident now, Block Island, Rhode Island.
Wow. That's got to be interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's a quiet place to live in the summer and winter, and a very busy place in the summer.
You do a lot of fishing?
No.
No.
No, I don't have time with my landscape business.
Now, do you take care of landscape on the island?
I do. I take care of, I design, build on the island, and then I design only on the mainland.
Now, are you married?
I am, yes.
Does she ever come to these events?
She'll be here Sunday for the show with my children.
Oh, yeah. Family affair, huh?
Yeah, my son loves it. My daughter really likes to photograph the cars.
Yeah. Oh, it's special, let me tell you. We've been coming here for years and years, and I would not miss this event for nothing.
Yeah, this is my annual pilgrimage to this particular event. I get to Watkins Glen on occasion, Thompson, some of the other tracks, but I try to always make Lime Rock.
Yeah, the history here, just can't beat it.
Yes, and as I said, my parents brought me since I was 5. There's a little package shelf in the back of the Datsuns, and my brother would lay one way and I would lay the other way. My parents would drive up towing a little tent camper back in the 60s.
Isn't that something, huh?
Yeah.
Now, the motor in this car, and what I find interesting is this was the last real factory car they raced, right? In that time frame?
In SCCA, yes. There was a gentleman by the previous owner, first name Tony.
Yep.
He was the last one to run an XK.
Now, these 120s, I mean, I see them all the time. Evidently, the people that own them like driving them, you know?
Yes, it's a lovely car. The lines are spectacular. When it has a road interior, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Quite elegant.
Yeah. I could get used to this, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I would get my wife would love to have a 120.
Yeah. Oh, I could see the attraction, let me tell you.
With that long, luscious hood, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Derek, it's always a great pleasure to meet people like yourself, and I hope to see you here more often. And we're going to kind of cover Joe today out in the racetrack, and maybe we'll have a little chat later on.
That would be fabulous.
Thanks a lot, buddy. You were great.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure meeting you. Yes, we have Art Regan, who actually did some work to this car, I understand. Huh?
Yes, I did.
Mostly body work?
Yeah, mostly the body work. A little bit of fabrication on the back, but most of the body work.
I'll tell you, Joe talks very highly of you, so you do great work.
He's a kind person.
Yeah. Now tell me, where are you from?
Danbury, Connecticut.
Danbury, okay. And how'd you get to know Joe?
Oh, I've been Joe's sponsor for probably 10, 12 years or so. So I got to know him a number of years back. He used to be a Danbury cop. I got to know him through there. I had a body shop in town and got to know him when he was on duty.
Now, do you still do body work?
Yes, I do. I'm semi-retired, but recently sold my business and doing it on my own.
Now you're having fun, right?
That's right. Doing what I want to do rather than what I have to do.
There's a difference.
It certainly is.
Any aspirations of ever getting behind the wheel?
I race a Corvette myself.
Oh, you do?
Yes. Me and my wife are members of a local drag racing club, so we go drag racing.
It's fun, you know what I mean? I miss it myself. I used to drag race. I had 3 Mustangs, and I had more fun drag racing up and down the East Coast. You know what I mean? I miss them days.
Yep, so do I.
But what are you going to do? We got to move on, you know what I mean?
Now you're interviewing people, right?
Now interviewing people and still having fun.
Good for you.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, right, Art?
Yes, sir.
Well, Art, I know you're a busy guy. We just wanted to say hello and really talk about, because Joe says you did absolutely good work, and looking at this car, I could tell.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Art. You were great.
Thank you, sir.
Good
Nice
job.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Let me tell you, looking at this car, Art's work is surely visible. This car was just absolutely gorgeous. I don't care what angle you looked at, just an absolutely beautiful car.
Yes, we have Brian Donovan, who has kind of a connection to Joe Riolio, who we're covering today. Now tell me, what's your connection, Brian, with him?
Joe's been a friend for a few years, but last June we tried him out driving one of my race cars. And he did quite well.
Oh, he's a hot shoe.
Yes, he's another hot shoe.
Oh, is this the car he drove?
This is the car he drove. It's a 1962 Jaguar XKE that we've been racing now I've been racing for about 35 years.
Yeah, I know you've been here a while, because I told you the story how when I first came here, you were the very first guy I talked to.
And here we are back again.
And then, let me tell you, that was a while ago. Now tell me, what group are you in today?
We're in Group 5, which is for the big bore production cars. So we race primarily against Mustangs, Corvettes, Camaros, the big cars.
Yeah, you're in good company.
Oh yes, it's competitive, very competitive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you, over the years, Brian, these cars have just been outstanding. Your record in this vintage racing has got to be unbelievable.
We've been doing this for quite a while. This team I've been running for 27 years, and we've got track records of 4 different tracks. Donovan Motor Car, that owns these cars, has been sponsored directly by Jaguar as part of their marketing program. So we've enjoyed racing just about every track there is in this country.
Yeah, they're well known, and I'll tell you. Now, tell me about your business. Where's your business located?
Donovan Motor Car Service is in Lenox, Massachusetts, just an hour up the road from here. So this is our home track. The Donovan Motor Car does service and restoration of vintage cars. We've always specialized with Jaguars.
Yeah, you got certainly a good name. Now, do you have a website to go to?
Website is that just the name, donovanmotorcar.com. And we have on there our restoration projects, some of our racing activities, some cars we have for sale, our staff, all the information about the business.
Now tell me, you covered like the whole gamut from beginning to end with restoring one of these cars?
We can do a complete full restoration from beginning to end of absolutely everything on the car, or we do a variety of different types of projects, from just an engine rebuild or brake work or tune-ups, so a variety of everything.
What about percentage of people that race? Do they come to you too?
We do. I've always used the racing here as a marketing tool for my business. It shows the dedication, the detail work we do, the performance. So it's a great way to be able to get out in front of the crowd.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. And like I say, your name in this business is special.
Yes, talking with Brian Donovan was really special today, especially when he talks about Joe and how much he liked how he drives. And let me tell you, his XKE cars are so special, you got to get up to Lime Rock here and watch them in action, believe me. Yes, we're going to give you some in-track footage of Joe as he went out on the racetrack today. He actually ran 2 races, and believe me, he was a force to reckon with. As you can see, they're just doing the recon laps here. But boy, let me tell you, when the action gets going, it's fast and furious. Yeah, it didn't take Joe long to get up to speed. Boy, I'm going to tell you, it was just so much fun being here at Lime Rock and watching Joe race and spending the time with his crew. Just something special. Thing that really I just could not believe the variety of cars that were out on this racetrack with Joe. I mean, you name it. Every kind of British car I think they ever made was out there, including Alfa Romeos. And it was just absolutely wonderful event to watch different cars, and Joe was so competitive. I mean, let me tell you, it's by no accident that he would finish second twice and have 1/3 in 3 races. That's how good he is. You know, I had a famous race car driver tell me that smooth is fast, and boy, let me tell you, Joe was smooth, and you could see, and he really knows how to bring this car around this Lime Rock track. And it was just an absolute joy to be here to watch him race. Comes to races, you never know what's going to happen. As a poor guy ended up against the wall. I'll tell you, all in all, these drivers that race these cars are very special. It's very rare
Well, Joe, just come back in from another session, and it looks like you're getting comfortable out there, huh?
Yeah, the car's running really, really well. You know, the first morning session, we were the first cars out on the track. It's a green track, so, you know, you want to take it a little easy, just get a feel. And this is our first time here with this car. So we ran, you know, I felt comfortable. I just scuffed the tires in, and we just went out for our qualifying session. So where we finished today, or just now, is going to determine where we start for the rest of the weekend. I picked up a bunch of time, so I felt a little bit more comfortable. I ran the car a little harder, and hopefully we'll see where we end up.
So you think you'll be up in the front a little?
I think we qualified 9th this morning, so if we're in the top 5, I'd be happy. I think we could be in the top 5. So.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had an excellent day here. I mean, it gets so exciting, I don't even care if you're in the car or not.
You know what? I'm just as excited being, well, I shouldn't say as in the car as out, but it is. It's a great time to be here. There's great people. The weather's fabulous. It's a perfect event. If you're not into racing, or if you haven't even thought about it, you got to try vintage racing. Bring your family. You can sit on the hill, pack a picnic lunch. I mean, it's the best of everything.
Well, I'll tell you, I am so impressed how you got this car around this place.
Yeah, it's the oldest car in our group. It's a 1950. I guess the next newest car is a 1956. So a lot of technology changes between 50 and 56. But
Big difference, let me tell you. And I also tell you, having a little chat with Brian Donovan, let me tell you, he knows you. You're a good driver, and he knows it.
Well, thank you, Brian. And you know, he let me drive his car earlier this year, and we might be doing some things in the future. And it's an honor to drive one of his cars. I mean, they are so well prepared. They're beautiful cars. They're always front-running cars. And yeah, again, for me, for someone to recognize that and ask me to drive that caliber of a car is, you know, it's an honor. And
You got that right. Well, I have to want to thank you for today, and Billy will be back tomorrow to cover the race.
All right.
And hopefully things will go good.
Well, we're going to do our best. Most importantly, have some fun. So,
Joe, really a pleasure.
it's my pleasure. Thank you so
Honest
much.
to God,
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job.
Well, let me tell you, 2 seconds and a third in 3 races. I mean, you can't get much better than that. That gives you an idea how good Joe is in this car. I am just so impressed with this car. Can't wait to come up here again and do this again with Joe.
This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections.